Washington.
There you go. There you go. Joe Davis is back again today. I can't
They
believe
lied to me.
Joe,
Well, unfortunate circumstances. I'm sorry.
Bill lied to you. I didn't lie.
I have a qualifier. Yeah, we were hoping to have John and Carol Warden with us today. John, longtime basketball official. Of course, he was on the World Championship team of the Detroit Tigers. And he and Carol officiate volleyball. And of course, that's your connection. But unfortunately, couldn't make it. They do have a commitment.
Basketball with John.
Okay, gotcha. But they are going to do a future date with us and upcoming guests. I'll put it that way, and not necessarily in any order. But I'm working on this, people. I think I'm going to be able to pull this off. Future guests will be Chick Ludwig.
Sure, you won't tell everybody.
Chick Ludwig.
In case it doesn't happen.
I'll make it happen.
We don't want to spoil anybody's, like James Morning here.
Ken Brew.
I even sent him a message about coming down.
Ken Brew and Kevin Fodor. Now, a lot of people know him as Jason Michaels, but to me, he's Kevin Fodor, and he was my foot in the door to get involved in broadcasting here locally.
I remember him as Michaels when he was here in Wilmington.
Good to see you last night.
Kevin Fodor, operations manager at WDHK, the predecessor to WSWO. But Kevin and I have a long-standing relationship, and great guy in broadcasting. He even wrote a book. About 48 years, and he's working part-time now for Cox Broadcasting, but it's not actually Cox Broadcasting anymore because they had to divest because of the newspaper involvement, but if you know him from Dayton Radio, that's the guy I'm talking about. Kevin Fodor.
I was reaching in
Jason
my
Michaels.
closet last night looking for a hat, looking for something I could wear for Detroit, and I found a green and gold hat. I was, oh my God, do I still have a DHK hat? It was something else newer.
And I don't know how they came up with the call letters. Ed Shaper was the guy that put it on the air, but there's a story about the daughters or something.
DHK?
Yeah.
I'll have to think of what that could stand for.
Yeah, really.
I got the first two letters.
102.3.
K stands for kitten.
102.3.
All right, well, let's get some news.
Yep, let's do the
Bill,
news first.
you can just ramble all you want today.
No, we got a lot of things to talk about.
He would, anyway.
Weather, well, you and Joe Davis, that's why I got biscuits and gravy, but I ate them too quick. Dang it. All right, but Joe brought his little, what do they call those?
City s'mores.
Those are good.
Those are outstanding. I love those.
Good.
Great.
You smell bacon, Charlie.
No, I don't smell any bacon today.
All right, okay.
All I do is smell myself, which I got some CK. It's not one, it's something else.
Take a picture of those and send to Brandon.
Now we have weather today. We have 5% chance of rain up to about 5 o'clock, and they say 25% chance of rain.
I hadn't seen her last
So
time.
Joe Davis, just so you know, this is like that normal Ohio weather we have, where in the evenings, you always got a chance for a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
That was nicer than just telling you to shut up.
That's
It rained all afternoon and evening yesterday in New Vienna.
It's because it's New Vienna.
It just kept raining.
Oh, in Dayton, they were showing pictures of water that deep in intersections of cars going through, and they called them looking
We got
like
very
boats.
little rain.
Well, it's like I told you.
Scattered showers.
We're going to have rain on and off probably through July, and then August the temperature's going to be 150, and there's not going to be any rain for 3 months till the end of October, and everything will be too dry to have any kind of activities because there's too much of a fire.
Yeah.
Let's just don't have the drought of '88 all over again. My God.
Well, you shouldn't have to worry about fireworks catching anything on fire this
Looking at
year.
like this, so you can see when people get on there.
See, I got a lot of screenshots I got to talk about on certain
Well,
people
you
things.
just come back to it later when you're talking. You're not talking right now.
I'm not too tech savvy. Remember who you're talking with.
It's called the news.
Well, we got news. The first thing's a sports thing, Bill. I even got a little sports quiz for you today. Since Joe Davis
I knew
is
you'd
here.
come after me. I knew
All
you'd come after me.
Faith Kip Yagon tried to break the record yesterday of the 4-minute mile for women.
Did she?
No. But she did break her own world record.
Yeah.
She beat her own world record by a second. And
That's enough.
4 minutes, 6.42 seconds.
Good Lord.
That's flying, isn't it?
Wow.
When I ran track, ran the 2-mile course, my first lap, my first mile was under 5. I don't know what the best time was, but it was 4 something. But obviously, as you go on, you know,
You slow
laps
down, right.
get longer. So if I could have ran a couple of 5-minute miles, I would have, because 10:30 was my best time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I only did that once in my career. That was my senior year, and that was the last race that I raced in.
When I ran cross country, we ran 2 miles, and I can remember it was at Lynchburg. It's a pretty flat course. And the first mile you came around, they gave me my time, and it was like 4 minutes, 56 seconds. And I was like, damn, I'm going to beat 10 minutes, you know? And I'd keep going. And of course, it was like 10 minutes and 10 seconds. And it's like, why?
Yeah. Well,
Never-
because you tired down.
Yeah, that's it.
Rick did
July 9th,
Rick
as
did
far as
faint.
weather coming, July, what was your best time, Jerry?
I didn't run track, but Rick would probably still do about 6 if he just like carrot and stick.
Well, it all depends who he's
Put a
chasing,
picture of some 25-year-old gal.
Yeah,
but hanging out in front of
I give her a say, didn't you chase a lot of women back then?
I don't know if it'd be 25 then.
30 would be good.
30, you know, 30. My
You-
last wife.
You're going out of the 20s
she's
looking for women?
31. Well, my last
I'm
wife's
disappointed.
You're only 74. What are you
Hey.
going out and chasing women?
Go ahead, Charlie. I'm sorry.
That's okay, but remind me at the break about this conversation. No, I got a good one for you.
Uh-oh. Rabbit hole.
All right, but I don't want to say it on air.
All right.
July 9th, the tariff deadlines are supposed to come and go, but I guess, you know, if you got a deal in the works, they're not going to enforce the deadline.
Right.
You know, so they're going to work with them on the deadline, and that made the S&P 500 close almost at a record
Scare
yesterday.
tactic.
Yeah. If you go
plus-
in so big and then drop it back.
Everything's just coming close to a record as far as stocks right now.
Things are booming.
Did you guys see the massive fireball in the sky in
Yeah.
South Carolina and
Yeah.
Georgia?
Saw that.
No.
Yeah, I tell you what, yeah, that would kind of freak me out. It was the middle of the day, this big fireball coming down from the sky. I think it hit a house in Georgia. It was a meteor. But, you know, you think about the way the world is right now, what are people probably thinking?
End of the world.
Crap, we got a bomb coming at us. You know, because that's what it looked like. It looked,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's the middle of the day and it was really bright and big.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
How big was it, Charlie?
I don't know. I'm sure it was. but,
I swear it looked just like those when you're watching on over in Iran and Israel when they were, you know, how they see them coming down. It's just what it looked like. Whoa.
that's what it did look. But it was in the middle of the day.
Yeah, middle of the day.
It was that bright.
Yeah, if you're going to bomb someone, do it at night.
Yeah.
Iran's leader claims victory in first public statement. What an idiot, you know. And then his other people that lead Iran that aren't the Ayatollahs basically contradicted everything he said.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I keep telling you guys before, you can't negotiate.
We live in a world.
negotiate.
We live in a world of misinformation.
You can't negotiate with China and North Korea or Iran because they're just going to lie. I mean, you just got to do what you think's right, and you can't. You know, they're almost bad as the Democrat Party. I mean, they just lie. Iran's leaders, like I said, claim that victory. Yeah, right, whatever. Nike sales fell 12% last quarter. You guys buy Nike or just
So
big
what's up
numbers?
now as far as
I
sports?
try not to.
They didn't say. They just said Nike sales fell 12%. Well, New Balance is getting ready to get a big
Yeah, I was
jump.
going to say New Balance will
that's
be
what I was
jumping in there.
Yeah, New Balance because that's Cooper Flag shoes.
Well,
you see that?
they're going to say the
New
teenagers were
Balance.
going to New Balance, you know.
Yep. Go through the roof.
Well, because Cooper Flag, the first pick, he's the spokesperson now.
Everybody jump on the Dallas Mavericks bandwagon.
Say,
Yep.
who's Cooper Flag?
But did you, Bill? You're a sports in the know guy.
Sometimes.
Have you heard anything about they may be thinking
Trading
about trading him already?
No. Wow. That'd be interesting. Now, does Mark Cuban still own that team or
I
not?
don't think he does. I hope he
No,
I don't think he does.
I think he sold his interest.
I don't know nothing about NBA, I
Yeah.
guarantee, but I thought I heard that news.
Yeah.
I've heard that twice now, and it may be just bullcrap, but I've heard that twice now.
And I don't know for a fact, but when I lived in Dallas, they played at Reunion Arena, which is the arena that's right downtown in Dallas. And if you've ever seen the skyline, there's this big tower that has multiple colors, and it looks like it's. Anyway, the arena's down there at the bottom base of it. But I think that they play at a new arena, but I am hoping that Cuban is not involved because he's an idiot.
Yes, yes.
Dallas has no chance.
Apple.
He'd be like a Brown with the Bengals.
Apple is pushing the F1 movie real hard this weekend. I guess they're like behind it. Usually they just do it on their Apple TV, but Apple is really, going all out and promoting this Brad Pitt F1 movie. I guess obviously a lot of the equipment they use in this is Apple. And they basically...
So this is product placement that they're trying to push the movie, to push their products that are in the movie?
It sounds like that. Well, plus what they shot the movie with.
Wow.
Also, is like
Apple cameras?
I think so.
Like iPhones and things like that?
I think so.
Well, we use it. This camera that we're using now. In fact, this one isn't even a new iPhone, but it's an iPhone.
My son was killed 4 years ago.
They have said that the actual cameras in phones now have actually exceeded anything that you can get from a conventional camera.
The Supreme Court, this is their last day in session. So that means we're going to see all kinds of rulings coming out today.
Democrats are going to be pulling their hair out tonight.
But yesterday they opened the door for the states to kick out Planned Parenthood out of Medicaid programs.
Because they already agreed. What state was it? They said that
South Carolina.
Yeah, they said they could defund Planned Parenthood. Any money going to Planned Parenthood.
So you guys that are watching right now, do us the greatest big favor. Hit that share button. Hit that share button. We'd appreciate it.
That share button.
I don't think I did.
So, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding starts, and the festivities have begun. And I think where are they at? I can't read my own writing. Venice somewhere or something like that. I don't know. Now, I guess wherever they're at, they're causing chaos because they're wanting everything done certain ways.
Yeah, it's a multi-million-dollar wedding.
Richest man in the world, I guess he could do that.
Wedding.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and give you my word of the day since I have it right here. The word of the day is sanguine.
What?
Marked by eager hopefulness.
Sanguine?
Sanguine.
Sanguine.
Yeah. Rick is feeling very sanguine because
Sanguine?
of the
Sanguine.
fiber.
How do you spell that?
Sanguine. Sanguine.
E on the end. Okay, sanguine.
Is that anything like? So it's not related to the penguin.
It's not tangerine. No, but it sounds like it.
No.
Other than sounds like
There are penguins that are sanguine.
sanguine. Yeah.
S-A-N what?
Guine.
G-U-I-N-E.
Is this important to you for what reason, Jared?
That's what I'm trying to
I
figure
always
out.
forget the word of the day.
He's
Sanguine.
he's got a
He knows I
girlfriend
may
with that
quiz him
name,
later.
last name.
Oh, sanguine is your girlfriend's name?
No,
Oh,
no.
I think it's sangria.
It's
He
languine.
likes sangria a lot. Yes.
It's languine.
All right, well, it's 8:15, and I only have one more little news thing.
You want to give
No, let's take the break because I got to look this little news thing up because it's a little quiz for Bill.
Oh boy.
Roller Haven is
Jay is
located at
setting the,
1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization, event, or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com. Or give us a call at 740-335-6481, and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
Are animals using your house as their new home? Spring is around the corner, and so is birthing season for wildlife. Give us a call today if you are hearing noises in your attic or under your house. Here at Diamondback Wildlife Extraction, we can take care of your wildlife removal needs and repairs. Nuisance wildlife can be very destructive to your house, such as chewing on or through electrical wiring and much more. Call us today to book an appointment for inspection at 937-302-6372. We strike back.
Forget the clown princes of basketball, the Harlem Globetrotters. There's a new all-star, family-friendly comedy polo team taking the sporting entertainment world by storm. The Equine Trots.
Bringing their highfalutin, high-kicking, mallet-swinging, horsey hijinks to an equestrian center near you.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. Made up stories just like these.
As well as real news about what's coming to the Murphy.
Ohio's hometown theater in downtown Wilmington.
On the Murphy Report. News the way it's meant to be delivered.
In less than 30 minutes, or it's free.
The Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel with a brand new report every Monday morning.
Amanda, my buddy Sam was recently tossed from his own horsey all the way across the arena, landed in a soft bale of hay right next to another horse that was already asleep.
Oh my, that sounds dangerous. What's his condition?
Stable.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us. City Council surprisingly votes 4-3, banning citizens from dressing up their puppies.
Mere days before the local kennel club's National Puppy Jamboree.
It's a canine conundrum.
And City Hall has blood on its paws.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Feel-good stories we make up just for you every Monday morning, plus the latest on what's coming to the Murphy Theater in Wilmington, Ohio on The Murphy Report.
Your mistrusted name in made-up news.
The Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Amanda, but I dress up both of my dogs, Claire and Wally.
Oh, let me guess. Bonnie and Clyde.
Nope.
Abbott and Costello?
Nope.
Mickey and Minnie.
Ah, close. William Gibbs McAdoo and the first of his 3 wives, Sarah Hazelhurst Fleming.
Of course, the Treasury Secretary under Woodrow Wilson.
And his wife. The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us.
What'd you say?
Here we go. You guys
Repeat
ready?
that now, Mike.
Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Quiz for you and Bill here. Jerry, he's not a big sports guy. The top 5 Major League Baseball
You gotta wait for the
unbreakable
sex
records.
questions. Jerry's really good on the sex question.
Top
I
5
tried.
MLB unbreakable records. What do you think?
No hitters.
UCLA.
No,
Basketball.
it's top 5 Major League Baseball unbreakable
UCLA
records.
basketball.
No,
They said baseball.
Complete games.
A little
Basketball.
smaller.
major.
We're changing it to basketball.
That's not complete games.
56-game hitting streak.
That's not even on there. It's
Whoa.
top
Because I'm
5.
figuring when they take pitchers out in the 6th inning, the odds of somebody, breaking the longest stretch of how many complete games you had is
I
going to
don't
be out.
disagree with
Charlie, what did we
it,
bring
but
you guys
according to
in?
MLB throwbacks, that's not one of the top 5 MLB unbreakable records.
Unbreakable records?
I'd say McGuire's 62 home runs in a season.
Nope. That didn't make the top 5.
Oral Hershiser, 58 2/3 scoreless innings.
Nope. This is according to MLB throwbacks.
Where are they coming up
Well,
with
now,
this?
these are good things too.
Lou Brock, 104 stolen bases in a season.
Okay, now one of them is steals, but it's not Lou
Now
Brock.
Ricky break his record?
Ricky
later?
Henderson.
How many
Ricky
steals
Henderson.
he had?
118? Or?
118 or
No,
100.
not for his career.
Oh, for his career.
Oh, gosh.
God, how many years did he
We
play?
play high-low. Don't worry, we'll play high-low.
20.
6,000.
Oh, no, way less.
600?
No, more than that.
1,200.
More than that.
Ooh,
I was going to guess 1,200.
2,075.
Less.
I'd say 1,900 bases.
No, less.
1,600.
1,200 was close.
Oh, 1,300.
Yeah, more
1,400.
and 6.
1,400.
1406. Wow.
Okay, so that's number 5 on the list.
Jim Davis is watching.
How many years did he play?
I have no clue.
Let's go. We could divide that and see how many averaged a year.
We'll
God
find-
rest his soul.
Okay.
Wow.
So there's 4 more. You got 1 so far. The one I'm surprised you didn't get. Number 1's really fairly easy.
Nolan Ryan, 7 no-hitters.
With Nolan Ryan's on there, but not for the 7
I can
no-hitters.
understand strikeouts.
Strikeouts. So, yeah. So how many strikeouts?
God.
No, Charlie's fine. I appreciate the compliment, though.
What did he have? 3,100
Game?
I think it was
Career total.
3,400.
More.
More, way more.
Wow.
3,600.
Way more.
More.
5,000.
More.
Holy crap.
6,200.
Nope, less than that.
Okay. We gotta.
You got a bracket between
5340.
more.
5,500.
More.
5,750.
5,714 strikeouts.
Yeah, you're close.
Now that's number 3. That's number 3. So you got 2 so far. Still haven't got number 1 or 2. Number 1, you guys should get.
I'm dumber than
Well, can you
rock when
give
it
us
comes to
any
sports.
kind of a?
Yeah.
Orioles.
Huh?
Orioles, number 1.
Cal Ripken, the most games, consecutive games played.
2,632 games.
Right, I could
That's
see that
number
one.
one.
That one I was going to say next, but I thought, wait a minute, now you're 0 for 3.
Number 2 and number 4. And these are kind of obvious ones too.
Go name
Most home runs.
Most home runs, who's that?
Well, if you figure Bonds in, he had like 740, didn't he?
762.
762 Bonds.
And
Okay.
then,
how much of it was juiced?
Yeah.
well,
That's the question.
200 or 300. I mean, literally, he was up there already. That's what they're saying about Bonds. He was already almost had enough stuff to get in at his age. If he had retired at that age, but then he started juicing, and then that got him on the off
one
list.
left, and you guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Is
to
it
make
pitching?
this- Nope.
Does it involve me?
It involves Reds.
Well,
Does it involve
Pete
Pete
Rose,
Rose?
most career
Yes.
hits.
Yeah.
4,256.
Yeah, 4,256.
Yep.
Peter
Edward Rose, yes.
There you go. Oh my gosh, guys, that was
They
like
don't
pulling
count that
teeth.
because he's disgraced.
No, that was number 4.
So, riddle me this, Batman. You mean to tell me that there's going to be a pitcher that is going to go 59 consecutive scoreless innings? I don't think so.
Not
No.
what they're doing now that they're going out there
no
throwing
way.
as hard as you can for as long as you can. And years ago, they said, "Oh, we could have pitchers do that in the '60s and '70s." But they go, "You'll blow your arm out. We don't want a thrower. We want pitchers. Can you pitch the game?" Now we don't want guys that can pitch. We want guys that can throw.
And go 5 or 6 innings.
5 or 6
It's all
innings, blow your,
stereotype.
and then in 3
Yeah.
years, your arm is blown out. We'll get another one.
See, and Oral did that in what, 88, I think it was. Guy went to Bowling Green, followed Kip Young, of course. But that is a feat among us. I think that record will stand for quite some time.
What was
There is
Oral
no
Hershiser's
doubt.
nickname?
Oh God, it's something about a dog.
Bulldog.
The Bulldog.
Yeah, Bulldog.
Tommy called him the Bulldog.
Because
Yep.
he was so nice, he wanted to change that. Wanted to change that personality a little bit, so he
Moniker.
called him the Bulldog.
Yep. Yeah. Moniker's a good word. Yep.
All right, well, I tell you what, Bill, give us a little sports here up until
Yeah.
8:30, and then at 8:30 when we come back, let's have Jerry do this day in history.
Well, let's talk about the Reds. I mean, they are at the midway point of the season. A lot of excitement. Can they make the playoffs? That's the big thing. I think they can.
Wild card, baby, wild card.
Yeah.
Maybe
They
the
can
wild
do
card.
it.
I
That's
think they have
stretching it still.
right. I mean, let's face it; they still have an uphill battle. But really, if you look at where they're at, 42 and 39 is the official record right now. To beat the Yankees in the series, the biggest thing, and again, Tito's saying this. Remember, Dusty Baker used to say the same thing when he was here: was you got to win series,
at a time.
one series at a time.
Okay, here's one thing they've not been able to do in the last I don't know how many years. Beat the team in your division
Yes.
that's ahead of you. They can beat the Yankees. They can beat Colorado. They can beat all these teams. But when it comes down to beating Milwaukee, beating the Cubs,
Chicago.
and beating St. Louis, they can't beat them.
That's the thing that really comes back.
You're never going to pass them if you
that's-
can't beat them.
That's the hurdle right there, so to speak, is beating the teams that you have to beat in order to be successful and to win the division.
They'll
But
play the other teams in the
Yeah.
other divisions that are number one.
don't
They'll
think
beat them
anybody-
2 out of 3 or sweep them.
I
But
don't
then
think
they,
anybody's expecting him to win the division.
No, I don't- and I think the Cubs-
wild card's possible.
But I think the wild card is a very, very good possibility. They got the reunion weekend coming up against the Padres, but you talk about the glory years of the Reds in '75 and '76. They had the big gala last night. Johnny Bench was there. Ken Griffey was there. a lot of the members of the 75, 76 team. Dave Concepcion did make it in. Everybody was worried whether or not Davey would get back. He's had some health problems, waiting a lung transplant is my understanding, but thank God that Davey was there last night. But, this is going to be, again, a crucial series.
Major League Baseball is going to wait until he passes away, then put him in the Hall
do
of
something
Fame.
about putting him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, Concepcion should be in there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he made errors on balls that 95 or more percent of the team would never even got to.
Yeah, no question. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
When you're when you are let's face it, when you have an Ozzie Smith in front of you, that's the problem.
And I tell you what, back in the day, I'd have picked Concepcion over Ozzie Smith.
Absolutely.
Ozzie Smith could do a flip across my pitcher's mound going out to position, and that's what got him famous.
That was what he was known for, the flip.
And at that time, he was
good.
batting 218, 219, and greatest guy there was. And Concepcion was batting 270, 275 to 300, and making plays that were unbelievable. You didn't think he could get to, but that was the difference. Ozzie didn't try to get to those balls, and therefore he didn't have an error.
And back when I first really started following the Reds, I was probably, 10 years old, 68, 69. Back then, they had Leo Cardenas at shortstop and also Chico Ruiz.
Yeah.
Well, they traded Cardenas, of course, to the Minnesota Twins for Jim Merritt. But give Sparky credit because there was a lot of pressure to bring up a guy by the name of Frank Duffy. Install Frank Duffy at shortstop.
Yeah.
The best move they made, and to me, I've always said, the big blockbuster trade was great, but the real trade that made the Reds was, and you know the connection here, that getting George Foster from the Giants in exchange for Frank Duffy and Vern Geichert. And Geichert was, quote unquote, a throw-in on the trade that they got with the California Angels when they dealt Alex Johnson and let's say Alex went to the Cal Angels and they got Vern Geichert and Jim McLaughlin. Those were two of the best trades that Housen
I
made.
haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah, the late Jim McLaughlin
I know it.
came down with a rare form of cancer and died at 40 years old? I don't even think he made 40. I think he was 39 when he actually passed away. He was the starting pitcher the last game at Crosley and the starting pitcher for the first game at Riverfront Stadium. Yeah, interesting there. But I would like to hear a little
the
bit.
All-Star break right in between.
Exactly. Yes, and then they had the All-Star break on July the 14th when Pete barreled over Ray Fosse, and you saw that.
I saw it live.
That was great.
That's neat.
And who had the base hit to center field that
have
brought him
no
around?
idea.
Jim Hickman. Jim Hickman had the hit. I would like to hear Charlie. How'd the card show go with George Foster?
Oh, it was great.
Good.
Joe was out there, and Rick Morton came out, and
George
literally my table was here, and George's was right
I
here.
told him I was the play-by-play with Charlie and did the Ohio State Club. He goes, "Oh, that was you." It's like I was waiting on you.
Good job. Yeah. But this is going to be a crucial series for the Reds. And the thing of it is, if they can just keep the momentum going, I did like the fact that they finally made a decision on the candle that flamed out, as I called him. I never was a big fan of that. Oh, Candelaria was just. It's kind of like Will Myers #2. Remember, Will Myers used to kill the Reds, so then they get him from the Padres, and he tanked at GABP. Well, unfortunately, same
First 12
thing.
to 15 days after the All-Star break will tell. If the Reds come out and are 2 games out of 10, they're done for the season.
Yep.
They've never come out hot for years. And when you don't come out hot after the All-Star break, they're dead. Because you're already 4 or 5 games back.
You have to say this. They rolled the dice on 2 big moves. Trading Jonathan India for Brady Singer. And Singer, of course, has become a real stalwart in the rotation.
Pro right now.
Exactly, but that a little bit of a setback for him. But boy, oh boy, they score the runs for him too. But he's been a real anchor in that staff right now because Hunter Green's been having some
Have you seen
issues.
what most of the pitchers are out for? Oblique.
Muscle.
Yeah, they've got
oblique strain.
They're oblique strain. Oh, so and so's out for an oblique strain. So and so's out for an oblique strain. So I said, okay, if you got 3 starting pitchers out for oblique strains, you got to figure you got to do something.
Better get in the weight room.
Yeah. Okay.
It's time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do this day in history.
Wake up.
City Council surprisingly votes 4-3, banning citizens from dressing up their puppies.
Mere days before the local kennel club's National Puppy Jamboree.
It's a canine conundrum.
And City Hall has blood on its paws.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Feel-good stories we make up just for you every Monday morning, plus the latest on what's coming to the Murphy Theater in Wilmington, Ohio on The Murphy Report.
Your mistrusted name and made-up news.
The Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Amanda, but I dress up both of my dogs, Claire and Wally.
Let me guess. Bonnie and Clyde.
Nope.
Abbott and Costello.
Nope.
Mickey and Minnie.
Close. William Gibbs McAdoo and the first of his 3 wives, Sarah Hazelhurst Fleming.
Of course, the Treasury Secretary under Woodrow Wilson.
And his wife. The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us.
Brad Mills about how they construct that lineup.
We're back.
Millsy's great.
Let's get personal.
Let's get personal.
Sundays, fun days, 5 to 8, become a member. It says the first 2 hours are free for everybody, the third hour though, and I don't know how Rick is going to do that, but he knows, you have to have a membership to watch.
Membership has its rewards.
Yeah. That's when it gets really
Interesting.
hot. That's
Spell
like
that. H-A-U-G-H-T.
yeah, that's like putting the cherry on the hot fudge cake. There you go. Jerry, how about some today in history?
All right. This day in history, in 1847, is that the year you was born?
We took a little trip.
Along
Yeah,
Carl
18
Jackson down to Mighty Mississippi.
Remember, I'm the old man. Yeah.
I know.
1847, New York and Boston were linked by telegraph wires. In 1871, the yen became the new form of currency in Japan. They must have traded rocks before that. I don't know what the old form was.
Rick was in on that.
In 1893, the New York Stock Exchange crashed. By the end of the year, 600 banks and 74 railroads had gone out of business.
How many railroads?
74.
Heck, I didn't even know we had more than 3.
I was going to say, that's an awful lot of railroads.
No wonder they all went out.
In 1924, Democrats offered Mrs. Leroy Springs for vice presidential nomination. She was the first woman considered for the job. In 1927, the U.S. Marines adopted the English Bulldog as their mascot. In 1929, scientists at Bell Laboratories in New York revealed a system for transmitting television pictures. In 1950, 2 days after North Korea invaded South Korea, U.S. President Truman ordered the Air Force and Navy into the Korean conflict. The United States Secretary Council had asked for the member nations to help South Korea repel the invasion of the North. In 1955, the first Wide World was broadcast on NBC TV. You remember that?
Wide World of Sports.
Yeah.
I think one of the
No, it was
worst
Wide World. It wasn't sports.
I think one of the worst things they did is once we came up with a nuclear bomb and used it, then they signed the thing. You won't use this again. You won't. I think we should have said, no, we're not signing anything. We won't use it. But if you still had that threat, things like this I don't think would have happened. You stop or we're going to drop this bomb on you. They would have, whoa. But they go, oh, no, you can't drop it because you signed an agreement with everybody. Yeah. You won't use it. So they didn't
hold that over their head.
Yeah.
Well, I think Putin's saying...
I don't think there's any such agreement.
I think Putin's saying, hey, who signed what,
Well, it doesn't matter.
Because
if they want to drop the bomb,
they're going to drop
the bomb.
Yeah.
Well, the bad guys always can do whatever they want.
Yeah. In 1955, again, the state of Illinois enacted the first automobile seatbelt legislation.
What year was that?
Socialism started
55.
Illinois.
And
all right.
And this one kind of good. In 1967, the world's first cash dispenser was installed at Barclays Bank in Enfield, England. The device was invented by John Shepherd Barron, the machine operated on a voucher system, and the maximum withdrawal was $28.
So you got a paper out that says you can get it, and then you had to go back into the bank to then get your money. Is that what?
I guess.
There's a voucher system, you know. You got a voucher for the money. You didn't get your money from the ATM. You had to go
Like
inside.
a Stone Age ATM.
Yeah, they had to give you a piece of paper that says, "Oh, this guy gets."
Well, we know NCR started the first ATM, so we know it wasn't at Barclays in London or England.
Well, that's because it wasn't actually an automated ATM. It was a machine that gave you a voucher for money, not money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what you do with that voucher?
But if you had to go back into the bank to get your money, what good was the ATM?
I don't know. In 1973, former White House counsel John W. Dean told the Senate
go.
Watergate Committee about an enemies list that was kept by the Nixon White House.
Yeah. Imagine that.
H.R. Haldeman was overseeing that
Was
probably.
Rick's name on that list?
Enemies. No, I'm on that other list.
I got my list.
In 1984, U.S. Supreme
Looks
Court.
good, Charlie.
Thanks. Who's yours?
Yeah, thank you.
In 1984, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that individual colleges could make their own TV package deals.
Huh.
In 1985, Route 66 was officially removed from the United States highway system.
Is that when they canceled the show?
And
Your kicks.
in 1991, Associate Justice Thurgood Marshall resigned from the U.S. Supreme Court. He had been appointed in 1967 by President Lyndon Johnson. That's it.
Nowadays, they can be 107, and they're going in and just, vote,
Yeah.
still do it.
I don't think it's so much the
They were
problem
appointed
with
for life,
Supreme
it kinda-
Court
yeah.
justices, It's the problem with senators and congresspeople
Oh, yeah.
that live forever and want
Term
to
limits,
stay
term limits, term limits, term
Yeah.
limits.
Term
Well,
limit.
Trump mentioned that last week, didn't he, or something?
on. Yeah. He was talking
8 years for
12 years
for Senate, 8 years for.
Can the American people put something on the ballot where
You have to have a convention of the states.
It takes the states, it takes, you got to vote, so it's got to be ratified in order to be actually part of the Constitution.
But 25 years should be the cap, or maybe 30. That's it.
That's
Total
too
time. 25 is plenty.
I think 12.
Between being a senator and being a congressman, because a lot of them will be congressmen, then become a senator,
They'll
and you got a
start-
6-year
they'll start by
term.
being a congressman.
Yeah.
They'll go there, what did they say, 8 years?
8 years.
And then they will turn around and they'll run for senator.
But not all of them can get in there. There's a lot more congressmen than there are senators, but there are a few that will do that.
See, I think
Yep.
that, once again, the other thing we should do is we should go back to the system where the senators are elected or brought forward by the states. See, the senators were supposed to be states representatives. They weren't supposed to represent the people as much as each state had 2 senators, and that was all changed where they started voting on the senators. I don't think it's necessary. The people's house is Congress, and it's the House of Representatives.
The number one thing they need to change is all of them need to fall under PERS. They're
Yes.
public employees. Just
Well-
like any other elected official, they need to be under
I said
PERS
this when I was in
retirement.
high school, and I think it's true today more than ever, that you take the state, let's say Ohio, what's the average income in the state of Ohio? What's the
56,000.
that's what your state senator makes. He makes what the average senator.
The
You can't make
US.
$250,000
Yeah.
of being a senator. $56,000 of your state.
Once again, you have to do that because to live in Washington D.C., just like to live
He's
in
on-
San
Things would go
Francisco,
down if all of a sudden all these senators can't do that money would come down. You can't force people to pay what they can't
Maybe
pay
they should just stay at home and vote electronically.
Hey, you could.
anymore. That's probably reasonable.
Code approved that.
Once AI takes over, they're not going to need to worry about them anyway.
One of the political guys that I always looked up to, and I got to meet him when he was lieutenant governor for Jim Rhodes, and I always did like his approach, and he was a moderate Republican, George Voinovich. I think George Voinovich was one of the most outstanding public officials ever in the state of Ohio. Lieutenant governor, the mayor of Cleveland, two-term, and I'm leading to that, two-term senator for Ohio. I thought the world of George and his wife Janet, and he told me something one time. He said, Billy, it's an honor to be in public service, and he says, there comes a time when you have to realize I've given enough and the public deserves a fresh voice. 2 terms as a U.S. Senator, and then he stepped away. That's the kind of guy you want to follow and emulate. George Voinovich was an outstanding public official, gave his heart and soul for Ohio. He cared about education. That's what I liked about him. And he led Cleveland through some very turbulent times after the Dennis Kucinich years, and he restored a lot of pride and especially made people feel good about Cleveland. I'm not a big fan of Cleveland, don't get me wrong, but you look at what he did. Everything George Voinovich did, he made it better. That's the mark of a good public official. God rest his soul, George Winovich, one of the best public officials ever in the state of Ohio.
That's why Charlie's getting the blue hats.
Yeah, I'm getting some blue hats.
To make Sabina better.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Hey, I do have a little local news tidbit if I can piggyback off of Jerry. I noticed this going to Hillsborough to work yesterday at the Hillsborough TD store. Yeah, shameless plug for TD. They are getting an all-way stoplight in finally at Morrisville, 134 and 350. Long overdue. That's one of the most dangerous intersections ever. I quit going that way to Hillsborough several years ago when I worked at Hague Motors because I would rather just go on 73. Too many crashes, too many near misses, people cutting in front of you to make the turn if you're coming towards Wilmington. It's a hazardous intersection right there where all those roads come together. I don't know.
I think you have to have so many deaths.
Well, look what happened.
So many accidents.
Look what happened up at Route 72 at Reeseville.
Yeah,
it took Tim McCarty's death to actually get a traffic light in there.
But that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I think when they finally put the traffic light up there, it was because so many deaths. I don't know if there's a magic
I don't know if it's deaths
number.
or accidents, but it's got a
combination of both.
I hate that intersection, man.
Yeah, but I am so glad to see that.
Way in years.
Yeah, Morrisville. As of July the 9th,
Then you got
they're going to have an all-way stoplight right there, and it's long overdue.
Green
now
Road
get off my
goes to the
soapbox.
right, and
Yeah.
134 goes straight.
Exactly. Well, and also you got Green Road right there as well. So you know, it's just a bad intersection.
Almost a 5-way stop.
It just about is. Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. Yes.
Same place for roundabout.
If there was enough room. Now, of course, Junior Hall used to have the market down there. Remember, Junior Hall used to have the market there. Yeah. If there was a way that you could configure a roundabout there, but they probably just don't have enough room.
Well, there's all kinds of different roundabouts. They're not all round.
Or you could have a loon. The loon.
Yeah, I've seen some new designs for roundabouts.
Nude what?
Did you say nude?
Nude. No.
Charlie, I both thought you said nude.
Loon. L-U-N. Like they have out there at the Elks Lodge. The loon where you loop back around.
Have you been in that new section of streets and stuff they built there in Hillsborough? You can cut across from the street that, I don't know what the name of it is, the street that goes between 73 and back over like Rural King. There's a street off of it now that you can come out of Kroger.
Okay. Gotcha.
And those ones that come out on 73, they're all tied into it. There's a roundabout down in there now.
Well, and I know one area that, and I hate to bring up Sam, but I'll bring up Sam Snyder. His son Mark was nearly killed in an accident when Mark was working at ABX several years ago, and that's coming in the back way off of 124. And they finally got that issue squared away over there at 124 because there's a road that connects over onto Route 50. But I remember that Mark was severely injured, and he darn near lost his life in that bad intersection there. Yeah.
And you can't,
Becky Kendall says
you
same
can't get MP
thing,
Ridge Road anymore.
72 and 729, which
Yeah.
they actually did lower the hill there, and they put a light up there finally, but it's only a stopping, 2-way.
You ever notice at a 4-way stop how people what do they call it, the California stop? People will slow down and look and see
and then
any
roll.
traffic and then go right through it. If that stop sign's there, stop. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. Well, I tell
Amen.
you what, it's time to take another break.
Stop, Bill. Stop talking.
So we'll be back. We'll be back.
Microphones are off.
Dough nuts. Getting a makeover and a name change.
It's every baker's nightmare. Buckling to the snowflake social media pressure, America's tasty glazed treats will now be known as doughy, emotionally compromised yeast rings.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Why wait for real news when you can get all the made-up news you need?
Along with the facts about Ohio's hometown theater, the Murphy.
On the Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our own YouTube channel with a brand new report every Monday morning.
I have tried so hard to cut back on my daily doughy, emotionally compromised yeast rings intake.
Really, Steve? No one has noticed. And I mean no one.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. They said it could never happen. They hoped it would never happen, but now the most unpopular vegetable in the soup family is getting her own talk show.
that's right, coming this fall on the Food Channel, it's The Okra Show.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Celebrity gossip and other stories that matter the most, plus what's coming to the Murphy Theater on the weekly edition of The Murphy Report.
It's what we dish up for you. When you hunger and thirst for real journalism, look elsewhere.
But you can find us at themurphytheater.org or the Murphy Theater YouTube channel with a new news report every Monday morning.
You know, Amanda, I used to have my own morning talk show.
Oh, why'd you give it up?
Well, there was a little dispute at the time of my contract renewal.
Oh, what was the disagreement?
Well, I wanted to renew, and they didn't.
What'd they replace you with?
A half-hour infomercial on nail clippers.
When you have to know before anybody else, count on your one source for useless, made-up news, The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the game is actually over before you storm the court. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with
They
Allstate.
put a new road, they call it Fairground Road, goes across and comes down.
Guys, let me explain something. When he says mics are on, I mean, shut up.
No.
That's what that means. That means shut up. I know, Joe.
The mic is always hot.
I'm just trying to explain something here. Yeah, the mic is always hot. Don't say that, Sabina. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure Tom Brennan learned his lesson. Yep.
Well, they were getting on this guy for Skip Carey to St. Louis because
Yeah.
it was just a slip of the tongue. He didn't do anything intentional, and he didn't get in any trouble for it. But it was on Pride Day, and somehow he let the word, was it gay or what was it, slip out? He let something slide, but it wasn't. Oh no, he was trying to say flag, and he said flag.
Slap on the wrist, slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But the one from Cincinnati didn't get the slap on the wrist. He was
Out
banned.
of here, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny.
That was a little different.
I shared this story with you coming in. When let's see, Jay Hart left. Jay was my partner for years doing basketball. And so Jeff Craycraft wanted to come on board and help me. And so I mentioned this to Rick Johnston. Rick leaned back in his chair and he says, Billy, I got some real concerns about him. He says, you make sure, he says, and this is your task, you're responsible for this. He said, there's certain words that can't be said on the air. And he says, I better not ever hear the word, and we'll just let it go at that. And I told Jeff, I said, Jeffrey, you listen to me and listen to me good. Always remember, the mic is hot. When you've got that headset on or you got that mic in front of you, treat it as it's live. And then what was funny, we was doing one game, and of course, then I have to give myself a slap on the wrist. An official made a call, Joe, and I never tried to criticize officials too much, and I even said, what the hell kind of a call was that? And Craig Crabb looked at me, and he grabbed me by the neck, and he said, what'd you say? We had some great times together. Boy, I miss that guy.
We never criticize officials.
Never. And we never had a hot mic incident unless it was Travis O'Connor.
Yeah.
We thought he was going to get fired.
The joke, well, we had true hot mic instances, but
Well,
we knew the mic was on and still said it.
I only was called into the principal's office twice at Wilmington College for you guys.
And mine was simply nice thing. I said something nice about somebody, and
No, you didn't. You talked about their damn divorce, God.
which was 34 years ago. I said it's
Well, they're
nice.
so upset about it, Joe.
It said it's nice that a husband and wife who were divorced 30 some years ago are watching their daughter play basketball, and they're sitting right beside each other. I think that's a great thing.
And that's what he said.
And that's what's bad about that. And he gets a phone call. Hey,
I do it
don't
all
talk
the
about
time.
divorce.
And when I worked for Ed Johnson, this is kind of a funny story too. And I think a lot of people may not know this about Ed, but he's a lay minister. He had taught Sunday school at Methodist Church there in Delaware. And so one day we're taping a commercial together and talking about promos for the upcoming show. And Jim Kanapke, he kind of he was filming us, and all of a sudden, I don't know why it hit me the way it did, but I says, "Damn it, Jim!" And Ed goes, "What did you say, Billy?" Listen here, young man. We don't talk that way here at the ABN. I don't want to hear that word again. He said, if you get frustrated, you can say something like John Wooden, "Goodness gracious sakes alive," or say, "Darn it." But he says, don't use that word again. Yes, sir.
When I was teaching Sunday school class, we had a thing about that. Is darn it any better than damn it? Because you're meaning the same thing. It's the meaning that's behind it. So is damn it and darn it, is darn it any better if you're
Just
meaning the same
changing
thing?
one letter.
That's-
But I came home and I told Deanna, I said, boy, I got a lecture from EJ today. I said, I better not use that word again.
Darn it, get over there.
Oh, well, he said,
Potty mouths.
oh, what can you say?
All potty.
Well.
Speaking from the pot going to go black, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
things
why
that
we do
happen.
internet, folks. Because we don't have to worry about them 7 words. We can call anybody, anything we want to. But we do use restraint most of the time.
Oh, excuse me.
Most of the time. Most of the time. There's a few times where, it gets a little dicey at times. But
Surely
so Bill,
not.
That'll be the third
we got
hour.
7
Let's get
minutes
first.
till the 9 o'clock break and we play games. So
Oh,
give us
God.
some more sports here.
Well, notice what I'm wearing this weekend, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. I can guarantee you this: it's going to be pile of mode. There won't be a dry eye in the entire arena. They have the memorial service for Jerry Sheevey. Frankly, I don't know how they're going to do it. I haven't had a chance to talk with Matt. I don't know exactly how they're going to play this out. But what I thought would be interesting is just, you too, Joe. I mean, it's great that you're sitting here today. I mean, reflections on Jerry Sheevey. We can talk about all the numbers. We can talk about all the success. But I like the personal side. I mean, what was it like getting to officiate a game with Jerry Sheevey?
Oh, it was great. It was great. And he gave respect to the officials. He wasn't one to come over and scream and shout and kick the chair. He'd get mad at times, but he was very. In fact, sometimes in the stands, you're looking under and say, "Come on, Jerry, you're mad. That was terrible."
I think he only got teed up a couple times that I can recall in all the years I was either broadcasting games or doing the PA. I think he only got teed up twice. One time he threw his clipboard down. Well, most recently, yeah, I've done the book, and then I went with the team when they was on their playoff run. I would go and keep the book with him because we went to every game because Scotty was his ball boy, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later on, what it meant. And Scotty really gave great kudos to Jerry. We were talking Father's Day, and Scotty and I were talking about his house, and he mentioned people that have been fatherly figures. I had brought up, about Ed Johnson, Bill Ramsire, Jerry, and I says, Scotty, who would you say have been like people that have been fatherly figures to you? And the first person he said, Jerry Sheevey. He said, because, Dad, he says, we knew I had some issues with school. He had some behavioral problems, and we got him tested and found out he had ADHD. I don't mind saying it publicly, and Scotty's A-okay because of that, as long as he's on medication. But Jerry saw something in Scotty, and he'd sit beside us there at the scorer's table, D to my right, and Scotty was sitting there behind me. And so Jerry said to him one day, he says, Scotty, I'm going to give you a job. I want you to be my ball boy. He says, take care of the balls, take care of the court at halftime, so on and so forth. Scotty Scotty loved that. And they developed such a great relationship. And he developed a good relationship with Casey Hunt, too, the basketball coach at the time for the men. But it was interesting to me that he said Jerry Sheevy was like a fatherly figure to him. And how many players wouldn't say the same thing, you know? Oh, Dad was strict, no doubt about that. I mean, I ruled with an iron fist. But he said, I learned a lot just from being around Jerry Sheevy. Yeah, and I thought that was great coming from Scott, my son, how much Jerry meant to him, you know. Just take it for what it's worth. But they'll have the service coming up on a Sunday afternoon, and I think maybe they'll bring in some of his former assistant coaches. But, you know, a shout out to some of the great ones he's had over the years. Bob Bolden, who went to Ohio University, the Bobcats. Brian Neal, we know about his legacy with Jerry. He's now back at Thomas More, his second time around. And when he left, a guy that I actually forgot to bring up, and Tom watches the show sometimes, and he mentioned it to me, Tom Kitchen was one of his assistants. And Tom later coached at East Clinton and also at Chillicothe. And Mark Heffernan, you know, up there with Ohio Northern and so forth. And how could you forget Jeff Hans, who won a couple of national titles and who coached Sidney Moss. And, of course, Sidney just stepped down from a tenure here at Wilmington College. But, you know, that coaching tree has some very strong branches going back to Jerry Sheevy, and it will be interesting to see
the one that left who coached the men's for a while, and then now he's up at, was it Bell Fountain or up north?
Scotty Rule.
Scotty Rule.
Scotty Rule was a good assistant coach for him, too.
Has Wilmington hired a women's coach?
They have not hired anybody yet. I might get a chance to talk with Matt and see. And, you know, something interesting, too. Micah Mills, the men's coach now, is having a Tuesday night league, and so they're getting some pickup games there, and they had a game this past Tuesday night. And as we was getting ready and I'm preparing the scorebook, I turned over to Mike and I says, what was your interactions that much with Jerry Sheevy? And he said, you know, Bill, he says, dealing with people. He said that's the thing I liked about Jerry when he was an assistant to KC, and then then Micah became the head coach when Casey Hunt left. And he said, I feel his presence. He said, just from being here in the arena, he said, how could you not feel the presence of Jerry Sheevy? I mean, that's the legacy of what that man did in his 30-some years coaching with that team and 44 years at the school. And let me bring up something else that's interesting. Talked with Tim Detweiler earlier this week. Of course, we had a school board meeting, and I said, you know, yeah, have much interaction with Jerry Sheevy at all? He said, Bill, he was my accounting instructor 4 years, every day. He says, I learned so much. And he says, as you well know, my first job was working for Tom Ferguson, the auditor of the state of Ohio. And he said it goes back to the time that, you know, I was here at Wilmington College. He said, I always felt Jerry Sheevy was one of my best instructors, and he wrestled. Dennis Pusateri was his wrestling coach. But he said, you know, for me to get a job, for Tom Ferguson to give me a job as a state auditor, and then Jim Petro, who succeeded him, made Tim chief deputy auditor for the state of Ohio. And then Tim later went to the schools. He was with Springboro and Madison Plains and so on and so forth, and was a treasurer, and then later became superintendent. He said it transcends back to what Jerry did for me in the classroom. And I've often said the successful coaches, not only do they do it in the classroom, the basketball arena is their classroom.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. And you know that quite well also. But here, this came from the Wilmington Superintendent of Schools talking about the impact that Jerry Sheevy had on him as an accounting instructor. What do we always say? You know, you're a teacher first and foremost, Charlie. Right. You know that quite well. Doesn't it really resonate when you hear a student who's been successful and they can transcend their roots from what they learned in the classroom, whether it be at East Clinton or wherever you coached, or at Wilmington College. You know, and Tim said that to me. I mean, wow, that really made an impact and resonated with me, what he felt about Jerry Sheevy. And I think that could pretty much wrap that up for a while.
And that's good, because it's 9 o'clock. So that worked out great. It's break time. When we come back, we'll do some birthdays, and we'll play the game, the dreaded chain connection.
Oh, boy.
Labor analysts have done the math. If God used union workers to create the world, just how long would it take?
6 days and a day of rest? Hardly. Experts say we might still be under construction. But at least we'd be on more solid ground.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories just like these are what we're about on The Murphy Report, with a new report every Monday morning on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
Plus all the real news about what's coming to the Murphy Theater.
Ohio's hometown theater in the heart of downtown Wilmington.
Hosted by veteran anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone. It's news you might lose. But if you do, we'll find it, we'll pick it up, we'll roll it up, and we'll stick it back in your front screen door.
That sounds more like a newspaper, Steve.
This isn't a newspaper?
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us. A major shakeup in the pharmaceutical industry as Flintstone Vitamins taken to task for tasting nothing like Fred or Wilma.
And as for Pebbles, well, she's already a fruity breakfast cereal. Why dietitians and nutritionists coast to coast are warning us to yabba dabba don't when it comes to ingesting these chalky childhood chewables.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Looking out for your health and well-being is just a sample of the kind of made-up news you can expect on The Murphy Report.
Earning the reputation as the mistrusted name in news isn't something that we take lightly.
In fact, most wouldn't take it at all.
And our efforts reflect that, with a trophy case in our lobby filled wall to wall with empty shelves.
Let the other outlets vie for trophies and your respect.
We're simply too busy making it up to care for such accolades, with a new report posted every Monday on the Murphy Theater website and YouTube channel.
The Murphy Report, with veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us.
Are animals using your house as their new home? Spring is around the corner, and so is birthing season for wildlife. Give us a call today if you are hearing noises in your attic or under your house. Here at Diamondback Wildlife Extraction, we can take care of your wildlife removal needs and repairs. Nuisance wildlife can be very destructive to your house, such as chewing on or through electrical wiring and much more. Call us today to book an appointment for inspection at 937-302-6372. We strike back.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization, event, or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com. Or give us a call at 740-335-6481, and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
Game on, Rob's Games, and the fiber's here, so we'll have to figure out when exactly we're going to be able to do that.
Well, I'm working on the studio upstairs, getting that back room cleaned up, so.
Is this going to be like password?
Are you thinking you're going to be able to get it down a wall or something?
Well, Dan, the other day, Dan was trying to figure out how we could take it from upstairs down into the basement and then up through right beside one of the drains, like the drain over here, and then set it up on the shelf. So I think we're going to get it done.
I was going to say, I figured it'd be a drain hole or drain something.
There ought to be rabbit holes all over the place.
I think we're going to get her done.
Good.
Get her done.
All right, birthdays, local birthdays today. I got Stella Sloan, her birthday today. Joe West, not the umpire.
Oh, I was going to say I know
Joe
the
West,
umpire.
yeah. Brianna Pinkerton, Randy Zimmer, Jeff Murphy.
Yep.
Murphy Advertising, plus a member of the referral network there. Ginger Pendle, Rob Smith, James T. Boyce, Abby Burgess, Chad Hartley, and Mandy Deal. Those are the birthdays I have. Who do you have?
Ginger Pendle, Carly Harris Pennington. You mentioned Jeff. Tomorrow, let's see, Sammy Myers. Sunday, Russ Burton, formerly, I always called him Safety One. He was the safety director under Randy Riley when Randy was mayor. So I'll throw those in there as well. And the guy you probably hear on WLW, Jay Ratliff, who does the airplane things and with the airspace and things along those lines. He has a birthday on Sunday, and those are the ones I have.
All right.
Carrie Harris Pennington is birthdays today, and it's my son's birthday that was killed 4 years ago.
All right.
Heavenly birthday.
Yep.
There you go.
So we got some superstar celebrity birthdays
Oh
today.
gosh, here we go.
So let's see if we can guess these.
Time to embarrass Bill again because Bill's not good at ages.
J.J. Abrams, a great movie director. J.J. Abrams.
D, help me out. D.
How old's J.J. Abrams?
74.
Lower.
60.
Oh, that is just a
61.
a little bit high.
Every time he does that, instead of going a little bit higher, he goes a little bit.
What'd you say, Bill?
I said
I'm tired of
60.
him taking so much time.
59.
59. There you go,
There
Jerry.
we go.
Thanks for being patient.
There you go.
Khloe Kardashian.
37.
Higher, but in the ballpark.
42.
That's just a little bit high.
41. I waited that time.
Ding, ding, ding.
I was trying to go slow.
I
too,
noticed.
So he jumped the gun. He didn't take the bait, though. Vera Wang.
69.
She designer?
Yeah, but is higher than 69.
Okay.
That's mine.
That's Rick's number.
72?
Yeah. How dare you? 72 is low.
I'm getting you there,
78.
guys.
70 what?
8.
Bracketed.
75.
75 is just a little bit low.
76.
76. There you go.
That was a good year.
Governor of New Hampshire, Kelly Iotti. Younger than me.
58.
That's just a little bit high.
It's 7.
57. There you go.
87 Chevy.
Will Levis.
Who?
Will Levis.
Will you let us what?
quarterback for the Tennessee
You know,
Titans.
Tennessee Tigers.
Yeah, he was UK's quarterback a couple years ago. Will Levis.
25.
That's just a little bit low.
26.
26. You guys are doing good on these days.
We're trying to back figure.
Right.
It
Yeah.
had to be 5 or 6. It had to be.
Yeah. Hey.
Chuck Person.
Basketball player.
Yeah, played with Charles Barkley.
So he's probably
46.
65 is a little high. 46 is low.
I'm going to say double nickels. 55.
Is low.
50.
61.
59.
Wait a minute. We have a right answer. Ding, 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 ding. Joe Davis, 61.
61.
61.
Okay.
There you go. Two people that were born on this day that were very influential figures, Helen Keller and Ross Perot, who let the Clintons into the White House, basically. So that's Ross Perot's claim to fame.
Mr.
Bill
P-Rod.
Clinton.
Mr. P-Rod.
I'll tell you what,
Okay.
he's what we needed at that time. We needed somebody that was not a politician, as we found out later. That does work.
It does work sometimes.
Well, we've got two columns, and we just go first. Joe Davis, since you're kind of the guest today, let me
You're the odd man out.
I'm the odd man
I'll
out.
let you pick. Who do you want as your partner out of
Jer
all
Bear.
these yahoos?
Oh, Jerry.
Jer Bear.
Jer Bear.
Okay.
So Bill,
I get Screaming Bill.
Will Dad or Rachel?
Rachel, you
We're all
wanna
fight?
Okay, me and Rachel
So
will go.
Rachel's away.
Yep.
Rachel and Bill
So I'll
will
just
play.
be Mr. Aggravation.
You'll be evil emperor and can help either side.
Any help appreciated.
Who was it last night at the thing saying they'll be the evil emperor since you
Mark.
weren't there? Did Mark say
yeah,
that?
Mark Michael.
No.
I couldn't know if it was Mark or Rick that
I was
said,
just
"Hey, I'll
happy
be the
we got all
evil
five
emperor
of us
tonight."
on the screen last night.
Now everybody knows
Well, I
Bill
was the
loves to
thinnest.
win. Bill loves to win. You know, I
Oh,
think I've won.
yeah.
Did I win 2 in a
You
row?
want to be careful how close you
Yeah.
sit
Oh,
God.
because he gets animated whenever
Who, Bill?
So
Yeah.
Bill will be
Intentionally, I'm not wearing the hat. I have the hat here because I don't want to throw the hat in the air.
So
Pull
Bill,
a Dave Bristol.
I'm gonna let you have your choice of either going first or picking the column.
I won't go first. Won't do that. So we'll pick the column.
Okay. So what column, A or B?
Rachel, I'll defer to you on that.
It's like, how do you know if A or B is easier? So you might as well go first.
A.
What's
all
column
right.
A? Okay.
So Jerry and Joe go first with column B.
So what was your results?
My results, thank you for asking.
Oh, here we go.
Rick.
Now we find out after the fact. Okay.
For column B, it was a rough one for me. 65.
Wow.
But for column A,
He probably gave his wife a hint.
no.
He's over there going,
Column A, 95.
Ooh, I like
Oh,
it.
so you got
Here
an
we
easy
go.
one and a
Now I'm
hard
getting
one.
juiced. Now I'm getting juiced.
well, that'll just prove how good we are
All
here.
right. But Jerry and Joe go first. Nail P.
Nail what?
P.
Nail or male?
Nail.
Nail. Nail,
Can't even hear.
P.
This is going to be tough.
Sirens in the background.
Nail P.
Nail polish.
Nail polish.
Makes sense.
Yep, nail polish is right. Polish S.
Polish S.
S is in sucker.
Yeah, I thought he said F again, so.
What?
Just so they understand it's
Polish?
not F.
Yes.
Polish
S.
shoes. Polish.
Polish shoes, polish shiner, polish.
Oh, Vicky Kendall even helped you guys out with nail polish.
I didn't see it.
Polish.
S.
Polish S. What you got, Jim?
Is it polish or polished?
It's like
Past
polishing
tense.
your shoe,
Polish.
Joe.
Well, that's what we were
Yeah, that's
thinking.
what
We were
shoe is
thinking
what I
shoe,
said.
and we were wanting to. Let's just go with shoe. Just to-
Yeah, shoe.
If
I
you
didn't think
polish
it was.
your bald head,
That's not part of it. That's not a B. S. That's a B.
All right, Bill, this is right up your
B?
right up your alley here.
head is.
But you can talk with Rachel about this. Boxing
Ball.
G.
Gloves.
That's what I thought too. That's the only one I missed on this.
Whoa! What happened to common sense?
Well, that's the one that's there does make sense too.
Ah.
All right, so nail, you had nail polish. Polish SI.
Well, that didn't make it any easier.
Polish SI.
Polish S. Polish.
Polish side. Sign.
Polish SI.
Polish.
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 Polish silk. Style.
S. Polish S.
Excuse me.
That's Bill
Polish
doing your guys'
sign.
impersonation down there,
Polish.
choking. Ah!
Wow.
These guys are taking this serious today. 5,
I don't know. Polish S. I.
4,
Polish.
You have to wait for the third letter.
3, 2.
Anything?
Polish size. I don't know.
Polish side. No, that's not it.
I don't know. But I had to throw in something.
All right,
last
here
week.
we
Hold on
go.
1 second.
You guys could maybe run it here.
Uh-oh.
I doubt it.
Boxing GY. Jim.
Okay.
That's right. Jim.
Thank you, Rachel.
Jim R.
I know.
That's it, Joe.
My first instinct is Jim Rat.
That we going with?
And it might be a result of hearing it from Joe
Joe
Davis.
Davis.
I thought I was being quiet there.
Well, I can see you on the screen.
That
I
basketball
can,
player's a Jim Rat.
Jim Rat, that's right. Rat,
I knew he'd know that because that's
Rat R.
Rod.
That could be Rat Rod. Rat what?
Okay.
Rat race is better.
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Rat Race is correct.
Oh, gosh, we're on a roll now. Yeah. How many more?
Get you.
Rat
I told you.
We're gonna run.
I'm sorry.
I tried to tell you.
What you getting?
Bill just took Joe out.
Get a straight jacket for me. I'll do this the rest of the
Now
I'm gonna
this
make-
arm
I'm
will
gonna
look
make
like
you feel
this arm.
bad. Look at Joe's arms. Look at Joe's
I
arms
am
right
so
now.
sorry.
His arm.
I
This
am
arm,
so
this
sorry.
arm's gonna look like this arm here in a second.
I am so sorry. I apologize.
And I tried to tell him.
What's the name of your insurance company, Bill?
State Farm.
So,
Carrie.
Race,
Like a good neighbor.
Race C.
Car. Race car.
Card? Race card?
Race card or card?
Car.
Card or car? What do you say?
You pick, Rachel. I'll let you
Race
pick.
car.
She said course.
Yeah. So you got course, car, or card. I can tell you this. One of those is right.
Yeah, which one? Okay.
That's it. Race car.
Okay.
All right.
This time, I got my hands together this
Forward
time.
for the evil and
Card D.
I can't think of anything better.
You going with driver?
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
okay.
All right. So you guys are on nail,
Gotta make it competitive.
polish, S-I-L.
polish, S-I-L.
Silver.
There you go. Polished silver. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That was dumb.
This is the one I got to hey, this is the one I got to 65 on.
Yeah. I see what.
Silver S.
Silver S, silver slipper, silver spoon, silver spoon.
Yeah.
Silver spoon.
Silver spoon is correct. This is the one that I
Uh-oh.
It's messed him up.
Uh-oh.
well, I had to get like 3 letters. Spoon R.
Spoon R. Wow. Spoon R.
You guys will have a better chance to get this than me
I'm going up the alphabet. R
What is that?
because they're older.
Oh, because they're old?
R
Oh,
I.
they're
Trying to
older.
Because
think
you're
of what
old.
has a word.
You guys will remember this spoon R.
Spoon R.
It's an
You know
old
what?
term.
I'm even drawing
It's
a
an old
blank.
term.
Spoon R. Spoon R. Spoon R.
It's toughy.
Romance. It's old. That's spooning.
Spooning. Yeah.
Spoon R. Spoon.
It's not where it gets old.
5.
I think it's going to be something about spooning. Spoon boy, spoon girl,
Sword.
spoon girlfriend.
3,
Tell Alex your answer.
2,
I have no idea. Spoon.
1.
Pass.
And all right. So let's see. You guys are on boxing, gym rat, race, cardio.
Door.
Hey, it's 2 against 2. You hush.
You want to go with card door? Okay.
That's right.
Shut up. You gave him 2 answers.
I'm gonna tell you, you better move this way.
For the win.
Here we go.
For the win.
Because all hell's about to break loose right there beside you. Just a minute.
Door H.
Oh. Handle?
And
What? Your last chance.
I protest. I'm sorry.
This is your last chance.
all right.
Old man.
So here we go. Nail polish, polished silver, silver S or silver spoon. You got that. Spoon R-E.
Spoon R-E.
Spoon Reed.
REBCD. Spoon
And
red.
it's old.
We're all
Like you
old.
guys. Spoon R-E.
Spoon regular spoon.
No, that's a spoon's.
I'm just going up the alphabet.
Oh, okay. Spoon.
They're not going to steal your answer. You can talk about it.
Yeah, you can talk out loud.
Spoon S-E. Spoon C.
There's no steals. Spoon R-E.
Spoon REL.
I got the greatest hint in the world, but I can't do it.
R-E. Spoon R-E. Spoon.
You know if you miss this, you lose.
Oh, I know. Spoon.
UB. W.
Spoon.
You can see why this one I got 65 on.
Spoon.
Spoon
Oh, yeah. R.E. Spoon.
The clock is starting.
5,
Spoon, refrigerator,
4,
spoon. I'm just going up the alphabet,
Yeah,
trying to think of
spoon.
words that come off of things.
2.
Spoon, regular.
Spoon ready. I don't know.
Spoon ready?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it
Can't
closed?
say something.
Yeah, I always like it spoon ready.
I mean,
It tastes better that
I
way.
thought I heard one of you guys say it, but
I
then
probably did.
then you went with something else. Okay, here we go for the win.
Okay.
Door handle made a lot more sense than the actual
Well, I
Yeah.
like to see Bill win because he gets so animated.
I'm just hoping Joe
And then I'll probably
survives.
just go,
Door H-I.
Oh,
I knew that a while ago.
yeah, that's one of the first thing I.
door what?
Hinge, she says.
Hike.
Why not?
Ding, 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 ding.
I said that the first time. I looked over him after he goes, nope, he lost. I looked over and said, Hinge.
That's
Oh, you went like it.
no, number one.
I thought you
Number
did
one.
something
No,
else.
I wouldn't. No.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
3 in a
Two-
row.
the 3 in a row.
That's the first one I've lost in a while.
I feel
All right.
redeemed.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Let's,
Wow.
let's help them out here. And this is an old term. And it took me, I told
give
you,
me
it
the
took
next
me,
letter.
it took me 3 letters also.
R-E,
R-E-S.
R.E. what?
S.
R-E-S.
R.E.S. Spoon.
Here's your hint.
Does that mean laying something down, or does that have
Well,
to do with
what
the
did
pen?
you used to
Spoon rest.
Spoon
rest. Yes,
Yeah.
I
I told you
got
that
one of
was
the son
tough.
bitches
When
on
you
next
laid that
horse
down there,
standing
it
by
made me
every
think, okay, so he's resting. Yeah, he's resting the
Yeah.
pin on there.
Yep.
OMG.
Okay, rest A. You got 2 more.
day. Rest A.
That was a hard one. That was. Rest
These,
A.
this column's up. Woo.
Yeah.
Well, this one makes total sense.
Rest A.
A.
Rest.
We've all used them before.
Don't use them before. Rest. That ain't restroom.
They're
Restroom?
there. Huh?
Restroom?
They're there. That's part of it. Rest A.
Rest A.
And restroom is part of it.
Oh, man.
Restroom something.
No, restrooms are at this place. Rest A.
Rest area.
Rest area. There you go. And then if you would have been there, here's the one for the win. Area R.
Area rug.
Area rug. Yeah.
So it comes down to one word that did us in, and that was
Well, I don't
No,
know.
two-
There
two
was a
words
couple of
did
them was
you
pretty
in.
bad.
Well,
yeah.
Did you guys say rest? Did you say rest earlier though when you were talking
I
back
thought
and forth?
Joe said rest, but maybe he didn't.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Paula kind of screwed him up too. But no,
I was going
Silver-
up the alphabet.
Silver screwed him up.
That was tough, man.
Silver and then rest. Yeah, well, I told you I got 65 on it. So there we go.
Congratulations, Bill.
And we probably did better than
Hey,
65.
Bill and
Rachel.
Rachel. I think Rachel did better.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Rachel's over giving great answers.
Rachel stayed in her chair. I mean, you know,
I know what
She didn't want to get too
Congratulations,
close
Rachel.
to Bill. I know. She was afraid of getting hit.
I
I'm
know
leaning this way.
I know what's going to happen
About
next
sitting
week.
on Jerry's lap now.
When I come in here, it goes back
Yeah.
to something he said about 1955 with Illinois. When I come in next week, I know there's going to be a seatbelt here, and then they're going to restrain my arms.
I've already said
Bill-
I'm not
Bill-
coming in on Fridays anymore.
Bill has to play the game with his arms affixed to the chair, and he has to have a seatbelt, so he can't leap
let's
out
get
of
the
the chair.
wardens in here on a Thursday or a Wednesday.
if Joe hadn't moved when he did, we were just going to have to call a squad because he's going to have him beat up.
I am sorry. I really am. I am so sorry. I bumped him. I didn't mean to. Carrie, we're going to get a claim probably later on. Be ready.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So where do we go from here,
I hate
Charlie?
to lose, but you know, I do enjoy winning, no doubt. Yeah, ask my wife. Oh
I
my
still
God.
say we've got to get him and Justin here together and play against each other.
Oh, yeah. that
Who's
would
this
be
now?
good.
Who's this?
Yeah, Dustin.
Dustin, yeah.
Dustin, yeah.
Yeah, he's
He comes in. I'll tell you when he.
Dustin
comes
Pierce?
In. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
He likes to win too.
Oh, he's competitive. Dustin, next time he'll be in is July 8th.
Put them on opposite teams.
That's a Tuesday. Oh, yeah, they couldn't play on the same team.
Man.
Time out. I do have a question. Are we going to have a show on the 4th of July?
No.
Okay. All right.
No fourth.
Sorry.
Maybe I could get John and Carol to come up on a Thursday then. Maybe I can get them to come up on Thursday.
Well, you'll still be here beating the shit out of me. So
No. I will defer. I will defer to you, and then I'll let you have the time with them. How's that? Yeah.
Well, speaking of future.
What's your future guests look like?
Let's see. Monday, we've got Mr. Diet Coke himself, Tom
If you're
Breckle.
going to have an emergency, call him first.
Tuesday is what the day to come in, Joe. All right, you listening?
I'm listening.
Robo Pizza will be in the house. Robo Pizza.
Will they bring
will be in the
pizza?
house.
That's the question.
I think so.
I'm cutting back on my carbs and pizza, and he says, "Come in when we're going to have pizza."
They got a pretty good
They
pizza.
got good.
Well, I'm not saying that. I love pizza. I love ice cream. I don't eat them. I ate 2 pieces of his last night.
Well, Joe, that's fine. It just leaves more for us. I'm
Yeah.
just giving you the invite.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, let's invite some.
We got the pickled pork pizza.
You notice these
again.
things I bring. I don't eat them.
Pickled pork.
Yeah, I did
It
notice
was
that.
good.
I love them. They're my favorite.
We have pork
I'm
pizza.
diabetic.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
Wednesday, we have Becca coming back in from her auction. Her and Becca Bennett, Sean Bennett. So we'll have to see if JJ, if you're listening, next Wednesday, Becca will be in. And Thursday, right now, we just have the Fayette County connection. So hopefully Travis Fenstermacher. He hasn't made it the last 2 weeks. And,
He's been
Sorry.
busy. He's been
Sorry.
busy, I guess.
and,
Sorry, Travis.
Uncle Punky should be in.
Hey, Uncle
we got to
Pickle
meet-
Punky.
We got to meet Uncle Punky's wife last night.
Hey,
She showed
she ate an ice cream that was this big.
Hey, I have an idea, Charlie. How about a shout out for somebody from the Clinton County? They call it the Ag Society.
Yeah.
Somebody from the Fair Board. If you know of somebody that's involved with the Clinton County Fair,
I do.
it'd be nice to get them in here to be on as a special guest to help promote the fair.
Yeah.
And they've done a great job with the
We
the
should do a
renovation.
remote from the fair.
That would be
Harvest
super.
Nation's going to be there.
That would be
2 days
super.
Doing harness racing.
I know, but we ought to go out and do a go wake up.
There's a
run.
thing right after the corn festival called From Farm to Bottle. And they've been doing it the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm trying to get somebody from them on because people don't know of it really well.
I'll get that. I'm actually supposedly DJing a car show.
Okay, well, my son's on the board, but he works during the day, so he can never be here. But he says, "Oh, get so and so."
Let me see who
From
I
farm
have
to the
as
bottle. That sounds like
contact.
they're making corn whiskey.
I know.
They are.
Yeah. Farm to
Really?
Yeah, and make that and other things. My son, when I asked my son, "What is it?" He goes, "Anything that's made off the farmers that can be put into a bottle, which could be ketchup, but it can also be
honey,
Goat lube.
goat lube.
it can be
honey.
corn liquor or anything because there will be guys there from Tennessee that legally make and they come up here and sell their stuff and then they go back down there and leave their address and people will buy it and have it shipped up here.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I'm supposed to be doing the car shows. They're having a bike show one night, and they're also doing something in Hillsboro on August 16th. That same guy that organizes it. I don't think it's because I'm supposed to do maybe a car show then too. But he needs to get with me too.
Yeah, I've never
talked.
been able to make it out because I'm always refereeing volleyball and stuff at that time.
Yeah. All right.
What I need to do also is get Chicken here, and you two would have a great time doing that together, Chick Ludwig, because he officiates volleyball too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Chick and I have refereed together.
Oh, good man, good man.
Vicky Kendall is camping at fair all that week. It's
Not
my
doing
vacation.
pigs this year.
Yeah, no pigs. All right, well, listen, it is time for we missed the 9:15 break. Imagine that.
Oh,
Way
man.
over.
The 9:30 break.
Bill was in his
Bill was over here beating people up.
I think that was worse than just Joe coming in today right there to get hit.
I feel bad about it. I love to win, but I hate to do it that way. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I moved over like that far, and I still wasn't.
We'll be back.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the game is actually over before you storm the court. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A young couple, creatively challenged, turned away from a popular rock band's long-awaited concert.
And all because they couldn't imagine dragons.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Heart-wrenching stories just like these,
As well as others, like my bunny being stuck in a tree.
are just a sample of the made-up news you can count on from us on The Murphy Report. Every Monday morning on our Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
Amanda, did I ever tell you I was in a band?
Oh, no. Steve, what was the name of the band?
Well, it was actually a tribute band, and we were a tribute band to a tribute band, which happened to be a tribute band to a band named Tribute.
Well, that sounds like it's ripe for confusion.
Oh, after 7 months on the road, and no showers, we were ripe all right. Almost as ripe as your feet.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. City officials forcing a local beloved mascot to step down.
why poor timing and inappropriate behavior doomed a pantless Wilson the Weasel following his drunken performance at the late Judge Garrett's funeral.
There was nothing routine about this routine.
A story we are dedicated to getting to the bottom of.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. These made-up stories and the latest real news from the Murphy Theater are what you've come to expect from us.
On The Murphy Report, with a new report posted every Monday morning on our Murphy Theater website and our Murphy Theater YouTube channel.
Full minute-to-minute coverage all 21 hours a day.
With veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
Amanda, I have to say Vanessa and Breck are just about the two finest anchors in the business.
For once, you're absolutely right, Steve.
I think the Titanic could have learned a thing or two from these two giants in their field.
What am I missing here?
Anchors.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
All right. We've lost Charlie, and Joe is practically on my lap. Bill's beat him up so
I'm trying to
bad.
stay alive till I get out of this place today.
Yeah.
A seatbelt and arm restraints next week for Bill. I can see it now.
Yeah.
Strap him to the chair.
Talk about this weekend at the Murphy. This weekend at the.
Move over a little, Joe.
Yeah.
Easy for you to
Yeah.
say.
I promise
You're
to
over
lock.
there.
I promise to lock my elbows together.
Tonight here at the Murphy, we got 50 First Dates. That's a pretty good movie. I've seen
What's
it.
the synopsis of the movie, Jerry? For those that have not seen it before.
The gal's been in an accident of some kind, and she.
Car wreck.
She had a
Yeah.
head injury.
Yeah.
Which movie is this?
And 50 First Dates.
dates. Kind of like Joe, he can't remember shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember
And
now.
CRS disease.
And she's.
Are you scratching your back?
Yes, I am.
Charlie's there rubbing up against the
It's on camera, so they can see it.
Yeah.
I'm doing the Reggie the Bear impersonation.
My uncle used to do that all the time.
She starts every day over.
Sort of like
Adam Sandler and
Drew Barrymore.
Drew
Groundhog
Barrymore, yeah.
Day. Sort
Yeah.
of like Groundhog Day.
And then this weekend, Saturday night, they got Turn It Up. That's a Leonard Skinner tribute.
What song is it you
7:30.
want to
Is that
hear?
tonight?
Huh? Oh, what song?
I mean, tomorrow night? No, it's tonight. Is that what night is
You're
that?
so vain.
Saturday?
That's Carly Simon.
What song is it you want to hear?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, shout it
Freebird?
to- Freebird!
You know me, I've always been a country fan.
Well, Leonard Skinner's pretty country.
Well, they are
But-
country.
Now,
Anyway,
speaking of Leonard
this
Skinner,
summer-
hold on, before you get there, I got something for tomorrow night.
Oh,
There you go. There's the Leonard Skinner drink right there. There it is. Bourbon,
Amaretto,
amaretto, triple
sec,
sec, lemon juice,
and simple
simple
syrup. It's called a Leonard Skinner.
That would sure enough kill me right there.
Yeah.
$10 right there. That's the drink special.
Does it come in sugar
If you
free?
buy 5, it's only $50.
You buy.
Yeah, that's right. They might give you a 6 for 5. I don't know.
Oh wow. I'd be dead by that time with all the sugar in it.
And you will remember this summer they're going to have they're bringing back the free Wednesday matinees at 1 p.m.
Let's start next week.
And July the 2nd at Surf's Up. July 9th, Lilo and Stitch. On July 16th, Big Hero 6. I've not seen that movie.
I've never seen that one either.
Well, I think we all just make plans in July.
And,
Wednesday we go to the senior center, eat lunch,
Is
and
that
then
the
come
original
here
Shrek?
Yeah.
and watch the movies.
And July 23rd's Shrek. And July 30th is Robot. And I've never seen it all the way through. But
Shrek's probably the
asleep on
best
it or
one of
what?
that group.
yeah, probably. But, yeah.
Oh gosh, Cars, the movie Cars.
Thank
I
you,
probably watched
Vicky
that
Kendall.
50,000
Thank you.
times.
Vicky, you need to come on this program so I can have a little sanity. I go, what song is it you want to hear? And look what she has. Free Bird. Okay, real quick. What's your favorite Leonard Skinner song?
I have no idea.
I don't know
can't
that
name
one.
one.
Huh?
I can't name any
Sweet
song.
Home Alabama?
Okay,
is that
tell me
Leonard
that. I
Skinner?
don't know who sang or
I didn't
did
know
it.
that.
That's a country song.
Yeah,
That's a
pretty
country.
good.
That would have to be it.
There were probably a lot of songs he sang that I like. I just don't know.
I know what Jerry's theme song is. Ooh, that smell.
We went.
Can you smell that smell?
Is that
That's
Is that
bacon.
bacon? We went to a concert when my kids were teenagers. We went down to Dollywood just to watch a concert. And we went in, and I'm in a bum mood because, it's not 60s music. We're going to watch this country singer. My kids loved it. And I'm like this, it's like, okay, I'll go. Every song he sang, I knew that because
Well,
my
there you
kids
go.
listened on the radio. But if you'd have said, who sang this song, I'd have said, hell, I don't know.
Charlie?
But it was Colin Ray. I love Colin Ray.
Simple Man. There we go. Sean Bennett. There we go.
Okay.
That's a good song. There's a good remake of that, too. Simple Man. I know I'm getting some ghost picks and Lars to bring in. It would be after the fair. Great.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I want to give a little shout out. Voting on the small school basketball player of the year through the Cincinnati Enquirer. Our Wilmington number 5, Chase
voted.
Fickert.
I voted.
Yeah, have you been voting?
Yeah.
He's come out. He was in second place. Actually, he was third.
He was
then
third when I
second.
voted.
He is now first. He's real close. Fans, we've got until 4 o'clock today to make it happen. Let's get him across the finish line again.
Tell him where you
But
gotta
that'd
go
be
in to
great.
vote.
You have to go into the Cincinnati Enquirer website, the link. I did post it on my Facebook page. And it's either going to be him or Carter Moss of Bethel Tate. The funny thing is they both play AAU basketball together. But this kid, I'll tell you what, he actually did not play baseball this year. He instead ran track, but he felt like that would give him more stamina, better for him for basketball next year. But I'll tell you what, the kid's a hard worker, and Christy and Ron, I know they're so proud of him. But that young man, I'll tell you what, he makes the offense go for Wilmington. But boy, that would be neat if we could pull that off. And
Gary.
Chase Fickert from Wilmington, Ohio, would be the small market player of the year. That's great. That would be super.
Joe, you need to go out and eat with us sometime out to Senior Center.
Yeah, you guys,
Morning, Karen.
I'm seeing a pattern develop here. Joe, you ought to go out there.
He ought to. I'm trying to hook him up.
But if you go, and it's any time
You
they got any
can't-
kind
you
of
can't get
game,
on
you
Karen
can't
because
sit.
that's Jerry's
You
girl.
can't sit next to Bill.
If Bill's out there, I'm not going in. That's
Bill's at work still. He's working there all the time.
This is actually my day off, but I go back to Hillsborough tomorrow. The Chillicothe thing is in the rearview mirror now. They've got that staffing issue resolved, but I don't have to make that drive, at least so far. I've not been told I have to make the drive. So it looks like I'll be at Hillsborough and Washington. Deanna said, make sure you say Washington. I don't want to hear Washington. Washington Courthouse. I say Washington thinking of Leroy Foster. Yep.
Washing machine.
WCH.
You gotta wash some clothes.
no R.
There is no R.
I know.
Yep.
I've got a 10-year-old granddaughter that's
It's like saying Colonel.
calls
Colonel
me
Clink.
on that.
There's
I see nothing, I
there's
know
no R in
nothing.
Colonel.
I see nothing, I know nothing.
You know,
That's
one more
already
thing
sure.
about the Murphy.
Yep.
There's one thing that everybody needs to know. If you're going to buy tickets online, go to the Murphy website. Don't go through a ticket service.
Oh, they got paid
because they're unreasonable. They're crazy prices. We looked that up yesterday, and I think we found 5 websites. It was all $75 or higher for a $35 ticket.
Holy
make
Toledo!
Yep.
Make sure. Yeah, well, I found one was 190, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah.
And just make sure you're going to the Murphy website.
That's what Rick was telling me, like going down up to Dayton to one of the concerts. He goes, you got to watch what website you're on. He goes, go into their place, and then they'll send you. They don't sell it to you, but then they'll send you. Like if you go to the Phrase, go to the Phrase website, and then they'll say for tickets, go to, and then click on that link, and then boom, buy the tickets.
Yeah.
Get that extra money. Get that extra money.
So what else you got, Bill?
Well, if you would like, I mean, it's good.
Oh, sorry,
good and
we're
bad.
out of time.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. I'll try to condense it in 5 minutes.
Well, no, I tell you what, you got 4 till the next break.
Okay.
But now, would you rather wait until after the break? That way you don't want to. That way you don't want to condense.
Well, I don't want to steal your thunder
You're fine.
for the final
Steal
stretch.
away, baby.
Okay.
Steal away.
We could talk about a day that I felt our community really suffered because it took away local news coverage, local sports coverage, and that was when the radio station sold. It was a day that, eventually it's going to happen in the business. When you get in radio, one of these days you're going to be told you're no longer needed, but for the entire staff to be wiped out because of the ownership change, it was just a real disappointment.
Stinks.
Yeah, that's what was a shame. And local people didn't have a chance to buy the stations, WKFI and WSWO. They ceased to exist on June the 23rd of 2003. But, kudos to what Rick's trying to do with WZZA and with what Paul Jellison's doing with WOIO, I think it is.
WZAA.
Did I say ZA? The call letters I'm not always the best on. There you go. But at least we do have somewhat of a local radio presence. But so many people gave of their heart and soul over the years at the radio station. It was just a real shame to see it all be taken away. And I have nothing against religious broadcasting. I remember when we had Solid Gospel on 1090 AM. But I would say this, you can go up and down the dial and you can find K-Love 5 or 6 different other channels. It took away local coverage. And then for WKFI, that we had built up so strong to be a good farm radio station, and it's just a shame that, the things happened the way they did.
Tuned in to listen to, and basically they came in and said, we don't need your local business, for advertising. We don't need you, and there was no more local contact.
Local connection.
To be honest, though, too.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way technology has changed. I mean, it's like this isn't radio.
Yeah.
But it's close. I mean, we're
exactly.
TV.
This live streaming is great. Yeah.
And like when I get my Ford Edge, I do have Sirius XM radio.
Oh, yeah, Deanna, she gets Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and so forth.
So, I mean, I did listen to WTUE a little bit the other day. So I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that does stink.
But we could talk a little bit about that and just the people I worked with and just some of the talented people. And I think they appreciate the fact that I bring it up year after year because it's something that we always work real hard at. And
you guys should have a reunion.
We should. You're really right. That's true. And we could even have it right here at the Murphy. Get all the different people involved. Maybe that's something I could do. Jeff,
Kim,
of course.
Kim and Kim Walker and Dave Walker.
Exactly. Kim and Dave. Dave gave me my first chance.
Me. I used to be a judge.
Exactly.
Which one went up to Cleveland?
Bill Wills.
Bill Wills.
Yep.
Chicken Country Showdown.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah. I have to get Wills. I'll have to find a week that he's on vacation and coming down to Lynchburg. He lost his mom a couple years ago, but I know he comes down and visits with his dad every now and then. And, I just think the world of Bill Wills. And, I'm just glad I stuck my neck out for him. As I told Dave Walker, if we don't hire him, he's going to go over and work in Hillsboro for Willard Parr. That's all it took. He says, get him in here. Let's talk to him.
Rick?
Probably the best talent we ever had.
Rick Morton says, Bill, I do, like a lot of other folks, miss the local radio station, especially during the weather reports, local sports, such a shame.
school closings and so forth. You could ask Deanna when the weather was bad. She knew where I would be. I'd camp out overnight.
John Alexander was my favorite with Wing and
Wolfman Jack. Oh!
Yep.
all the kids think I'm crazy because I'll be doing volleyball. The score will be 14-10, and I'll go 14-10, high flying, WING.
There you
and
go.
he'll look at me like,
Yep.
what's that?
It is time to take
a break.
So
And then we'll
be
round
back.
third and head home like Joe Nuxall used to.
We'll be back in a minute.
Local museum presenting workshops
Yes.
on aging, yet they won't offer a senior citizens discount.
Past the cottage cheese and applesauce, it's time to stop the irony.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories we'll get to the bottom of.
And some stories we're on top of, if that's your preference. In-depth, behind-the-scenes coverage.
Can only be found on The Murphy Report. Visit us at themurphytheater.org and our own YouTube channel with a new report every Monday morning.
Hey, Amanda, speaking of old, did you know that I recently celebrated a birthday?
I did, Steve. Who do you think called the fire truck when we lit up the cake? Did you make a wish before you hosed down all those candles?
I did. I wished only good fortune for all of my coworkers.
And yet you're still here.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. City officials forcing a local beloved mascot to step down.
why poor timing and inappropriate behavior doomed a pantless Wilson the Weasel following his drunken performance at the late Judge Garrett's funeral.
There was nothing routine about this routine.
A story we are dedicated to getting to the bottom of.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. These made-up stories and the latest real news from the Murphy Theater are what you've come to expect from us.
On The Murphy Report, with a new report posted every Monday morning on our Murphy Theater website and our Murphy Theater YouTube channel.
Full minute-to-minute coverage all 21 hours a day.
With veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
Amanda, I have to say Vanessa and Breck are just about the two finest anchors in the business.
For once, you're absolutely right, Steve.
I think the Titanic could have learned a thing or two from these two giants in their field.
What am I missing here?
Anchors.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's
One.
Let's get personal.
Personal. Let's get personal.
Sunday nights, 5 to 8. Come and watch on. Is this just going to be on YouTube or is it going to be?
But they got to be a
just
member to
on
watch.
YouTube?
No.
Do you have to be a member to watch the
To get
last
the good
hour?
hour, you gotta be a member.
5 to 7 with Sarah Play Me Like a Piccolo Fife and Dr. Jeffrey
I didn't say
Schusler,
that.
who says his footlong's bigger than Sarah's piccolo. So there we go. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now we were talking about you were talking about WSWO, WKF, all that. Bill was talking about the hotline.
Yep, I remember the numbers.
Well, this is kind of related. J.D. Vance, being a new vice president, his first time in the Oval Office, he's checking things out, and he said he sees a red phone. And he's going, man, in his head, he's thinking, man, I don't want to ever have to worry about messing with that thing.
I saw it blink once.
And him and Trump were talking, and Trump was getting mad about something, just frustrated. And he said, "Oh, the hell with it." Picks up the red phone, and he puts it down, and he says, "I'm gonna nuke him." About 5 minutes later, here comes a Diet Coke into his office. That's his Diet Coke phone. J.D. Vance is crapping down his lip. Oh my gosh. It was funny to hear him say it though. It's like, oh yeah.
You know that man, I think, don't you?
Tonight, 4 to 8, food
That guy
truck
looks familiar.
rally.
Yeah. Back when I had hair. That's Walt Street.
Yeah, I recognize that from New Vienna.
Yep.
When you talk, I shut up.
You know, there's days that doesn't work well.
I know. I just say I've been very nice and quiet today.
I apologize, sir.
Sorry, Davis is the worst about doing that. Okay, home cooked vibes will be there. See what I mean? See what I mean?
Mute the mic.
Talking to the head man.
Home cooked vibes will be there. The tea trailer will be there tonight. Home's custom woodworking will be there. This one I love. Hot Flash Eats. I'll have to get something from Hot Flash Eats just because it's funny. Little Bear will be there. Not Reggie, the Clinton County Bear, but Little Bear will be there.
The bear has a name.
Name Reggie.
The bear has a name.
The bear has a name.
The bear has a name.
And he also has his own Facebook page. We're friends with Reggie.
Oh
the
my
Bear on
gosh!
Facebook.
Wow.
Reggie's a bear.
Let's see if there's anybody else that's going to be there. Clinton sends tons of stuff out. They're having another nonprofit fundraiser that you can donate to. Jaden with Coldwell Banker sets up at all the food truck rallies. She'll be having a fundraiser. I think it's to donate. Nonprofit of the month is Harvest of Gold. Their mission is to empower at-risk elementary students through personalized tutoring, creative enrichment, and essential resources, helping every child thrive inside and outside the classroom.
Give them away bikes at halftime basketball games. Yep. That's what they've done in the past.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's what's going on tonight, 4 to 8. So, and then there's also a concert at the Eagles tonight. I think it's a 70s, 80s cover band at the Eagles at 8 o'clock. And then you have 51st dates here at the Murphy. So there's plenty of stuff to do, folks. Let's just hope the weather holds out. They're just talking slight chance of rain.
Yeah, it's supposed to be ending this week, and we're in the better area of all the rain coming in.
Yeah. So, well, it's like I said at the beginning of the show, we're just in that pop-up shower area. Don't forget, Martinsville has community yard sales today. Bowersville has community yard sales today. And Jamestown has community yard sales.
Wow. Bowersville, home of Norman Vincent Peale.
That's right. That's right. All right, Bill. Sorry, back at you.
No, I'm sorry. You said something about the red phone that triggered this thought with me, and I've got this picture. I carry this with me wherever I go. Just remember what.
In front of the camera.
Yeah, if you can superimpose it. It's a picture of yours truly back in, when was it, 2001. And it's the night before the bombing of the Twin Towers and everything, September 11th. I had joined the Ohio Farmers Union and was their government relations analyst. And my goal at that point was, call me crazy, wanted to be a state representative. And I thought this could be a door opener for that. Well, Walt Strieber was president of the organization, and we were in Washington, D.C. to meet with the chairman of the House Ag Committee, Mike Pence, and we were going to talk about dairy price supports and abandoning the tax on inheritance for farmers and better price supports. And we were all convening there at about 8:45, 8:50 to go into his office for a 9 o'clock meeting. Folks, there is a red bat phone, the color of that red hat right there. And everything stops if that phone blinks or rings. And it does have a, so you know it's going to ring. And and so the aide for Congressman Pence picks up the phone, and he nodded his head and told him and everything like that. And he interrupted Congressman Pence, and he told him what was going on, and he whispered in his ear something. And then Mike said, "We have to adjourn this meeting immediately. We've been informed there's a plane with bombs on it that's headed for the Capitol." That's the plane that went down Harrisburg. Whoa. Yep, fateful day. That was the night before. That was taken in Washington, D.C. So that's just something. We'll talk about that later on. I hope I can even get Walt in here to talk about it. But nobody's talking about a little bit about those stations shutting down, except June the 23rd of 2003. Yeah, but I always look back at it with a sentimental approach, but think of the many people that contributed to the success of WKFI and WSW over the years. And really, you could even go back to when it was WMWM. I mentioned the story back when I was still in high school down at Little Miami. I was in the radio program there, and Ken Brew, that's right, the same Ken Brew that called the Bengals games and on WLW radio and was on all the TV stations, he did a 5-minute sports show here on WKFI, and he had a sports trivia thing too, and I remember calling in, and lucky enough I won and got 2 passes to the Murphy Theater. But you look at some of the talented people that have been at the radio station over the years. Kevin Fodor, we talked about, Jason Michaels on WHIO. He was with WDHK. He kind of helped get my foot in the door. Can't say enough things about Bill Wills, just how good of a talent Bill was, and he joined us in, 1982, 81, somewhere in that time frame. It was right about the time Dee and I were getting ready to be married, so it would have been 81. And look at the talent he was, and he came here from Lynchburg, Ohio. And his big break was when Bob Ziegler stepped down as the farm director at WLW Radio. He knew Bob, and he was our farm. He and I were kind of like working together, but he was our designated farm broadcaster. And so Ziggy called him and told him what was going on at WLW. And he said, now, one other thing, you would have to do the farm market reports, and you're also going to be a backup to Jim Scott, and you're also going to work with the other people here on the staff, and you may even get to work some with Gary Burbank. But boy, what an opportunity it was for Wilsey. And then when Jim Scott got the job with WWNK, Wink 94.1, he became the morning man. Bill Wills stepped in to be the morning man at WLW. Since the late 1960s, there have been 5 morning men at WLW. Bill Wills is one of them. James Francis Patrick O'Neill, Jim Scott, Bill Wills, Mike McConnell, and now Tom Brenneman. Interesting. For me, the best play-by-play guy that I think I've ever listened to on a local standpoint, Jeffrey Hibbs. Jeff was working at Napa. Said, Billy, I'd love to get into radio. He says, my goal is to be a play-by-play guy. He says, I'd love to do what you do. And I told Dave, I says, you know what do you think about this Hibbs guy? He says, well, we'll talk with him, see what he thinks. And so we got him in. And I'll tell you what, Jeff was a great talent. He and Roger Barber were the cream of the crop as far as doing play-by-play, and I produced a lot of their games. I know how good he was. And he loved that phrase when he was at East Clinton, the barn's on fire, the barn's on fire at Lee's Creek. And it was always those exciting games with Butch Hooper's teams. And what an interviewer he was. He was always focused about that. He challenged me a lot. I'd take one viewpoint, he'd take the other. And then when Jeff left to go with the Solid Waste District, we brought in Rob Osborne, an extremely talented broadcaster, covered local news. And he was so great about interacting with people on the phone. He'd just pick out a topic and he said, well, today we're going to talk about blah, 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 whatever it was. And he would take people on their phone calls. And then the guy I'm very happy for today, he's still in broadcasting, is Matt Sexton. Took a chance on a guy that I thought, this guy will be pretty good. He loves to do play-by-play, and Matt does, from Blanchester, and Matt does local sports for Northern Kentucky University. And how could I miss it? Linda Waters Hudson, what a great talent from New Vienna. And she was a great talent on the air, did weekend weather at WKEF, Channel 22, had a great career with Time Warner, Spectrum, and ended her career as the sales manager of Channel 9, WCPO. But, people, those are some of the people that have been on the air at WKFI and WSWO and also WDHK over the years. And we had a lot of good, talented people. Inform, educate, and entertain. That's what it was all about. It was a good career while it lasted. Anybody else want to add?
No, we're just about to end here. It's almost.
I told you I could go for 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah.
I know.
What was the word of the day, Charlie?
Oh,
I wrote it down. No. Now hold on there. Sanguine.
Marked by
I thought it was penguin.
hopefulness.
I thought it was penguin.
Bill was very sanguine about playing and possibly winning the game today.
And then I go from winning to a somber note.
But he was very physical.
And then I go to a somber note to close.
Helen Keller is my final thought today. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. So
very good.
Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. So
Sean Poole is watching. How you doing,
Sean Poole
Sean?
watching? All right.
Hope to have a guest next Friday, but we'll designate Joe. Notice I tapped you. I didn't hit you.
What?
We had Joe as our special guest today.
What's next Friday? Next
Friday is
the
July 4th.
Oh, that's right, July
That's the
4th. There is no show. Okay.
But we
A
do
week
have
after.
guests Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, and Thursday, if we count Uncle Punky and Travis, we do have them coming. We don't count them. They're kind of like guest hosts now. So everybody have a great weekend. I like it. I get a weekend off, which I am not complaining about. Because I tell you what, we're I don't think I have Saturday off in July. I should look real quick. I think all my
Probably
Saturdays,
don't, because you got me helping you 3 of them.
Yeah, there's 4 Saturdays in July. I got stuff every one of them.
Wow.
Plus 2 Sundays.
You're a busy man.
Yep, DJing. That doesn't count our stuff through the week either. So, lots of stuff going on. We got the other another card show coming up, the 19th, July 19th at 12 to 4.
Special
Not
guest that
12
day.
to 4, I'm
Do you have a
sorry.
special guest lined up?
10 to 3. He does not have a guest as of yet for that, but that doesn't mean he won't. Everybody have a great weekend. For Joe Davis, Bill Learman, and the one, the only, Mr. Jerry, Mayor of Nubiana, Keplinger.
No.
Whoa!
And Rick Phillips.
Congratulations.
You'll be known for years.
No.
We appreciate y'all. Hit the share button before you go, and we'll see you Monday.
So long for just a while.
See y'all.